Happy birthday, Canada! Videos832 back here with another deck review. Today, we have the Bicycle Canada 150 deck. It is celebrating the 150th birthday of Canada. I know we're a few years behind the USA. We're not quite as old as USA or as experienced, but we're getting there. This year is the 150th birthday of Canada, and there's a lot of celebrations going on. And this was a nice special commemorative deck put out by the USBC. So we'll have a quick look at it. Well, I'll try to keep it quick. The front, it says Bicycle. The bottom says 1867 to 2017. Playing cards. Cards as you weigh, which is French for playing cards. And you see this interesting logo, which is the Canada 150 logo, which is basically fancy maple leaf. And there's also some kind of almost metallic ink line work in the background, I would say, because it's a different, it looks like it's a different shininess than the rest of the deck, so I'm going to say that's metallic ink. On one side says Ericus Infinitus Fabrique EU, which is made in USA. Another side, Ericus Infinitus made in USA. The top, nothing, except for that lines. The bottom, barcode for the second logo. The back says Bicycle, shows you some of the cards. It says celebrating Canada's 150th anniversary with 52 cards featuring iconic photos of Canada. Same thing in French, and then there's trademark stuff and ad copy in English and French. Standard seal in black. Bicycle trademark stuff on the flap. And just a standard tuck case, aside from what appears to be some metallic inks. I will say that if this was like an American deck, it would probably be nice and fancy with metallic, silver foils and embossing and much fancier cards. Instead, because we're Canada, we're not the States, we get shafted a little bit. I don't know who designed this, whose idea this was, but in comparison to other decks that they've done, like for the Club 808 and some other more recent ones, this is a little bit lackluster. But it gets worse. You should see the Bicycle feel on the deck. So first of all, you get two cards that have Canada historical moments on them. One side is English, the other side is French. You get two of them. I'm going to go over them. July 1st, 1867. The Dominion of Canada unites Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia with Sir John A. Macdonald becoming the first Prime Minister. August 3rd, 1876. The first telephone call is made by inventor Alexander Graham Bell in Mount Pleasant, Ontario to Brantford, Ontario. You're welcome. Canada invented the phone. December 6, 1921, Agnes MacPhail becomes the first woman to be elected to Parliament and the first of two women elected to the Ontario legislature in 1943. I wonder when was the first one in the States, the first woman. In 1921, Dr. Frederick Banting and Dr. Charles Best discover insulin as a way of treating diabetes. Again, you're welcome. May 28th, 1934, the Dion quintuplets, born just outside Callander, Ontario, attracted worldwide attention, becoming the first quintuplets known to have survived their infancy. There was a movie about it. That's all I really know about it. I'm familiar with them. I've seen the movie, I think. December 15, 1967, our Canadian flag wins the approval of Parliament. Yay. July 1st, 1962, Saskatchewan's Medical Care Insurance Act takes effect, creating Canada's first comprehensive public health care program. September 20th, 1972, Paul Henderson scores the winning goal as part of Team Canada with 34 seconds remaining in the final game and defeats the Soviet Union 6-5. Go Canada! On the other side, Moments Historiques de Canada. Le Dominion de Canada. No, just kidding, I'm not going to do the French. We continue on the other one. April 12, 1980, Terry Fox begins his Marathon of Hope run beginning in St. John's, Newfoundland, and is forced to end his journey near Thunder Bay, Ontario, September 1st, 1980. When his cancer returns, every year millions of people in close to 25 countries participate in the Terry Fox Run, or Terry Fox fundraising events, raising over $650 million to support cancer research in Terry's name. Did it every year in school. When I was in school, it was an annual tradition, and you're not familiar with Terry Fox. He's a very big, iconic part of Canada. He's doing this, like it says, this Marathon of Hope across Canada, but didn't even make it halfway. He got close to where I live. I've actually seen his statue in front of it, which is in the deck. We'll get to that. But yeah, it's a very important part of Canada, obviously. April 17, 1982, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms is signed by Queen Elizabeth II and Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Canada now has its own constitution. If the name sounds familiar, it should, because Pierre Trudeau is the father of our current Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who is a hell of a lot better than Justin Bieber. And we apologize for Justin Bieber, by the way. But America can keep him. Next, October 26, 1982, legislation changes the name of the annual Dominion Day holiday to Canada Day. June 30, 1987, the dollar bill is replaced with the $1 coin, the loonie as it's called, which I don't happen to have one. Or do I? Nope, I got a toonie, which is a $2 coin. The loonie and the toonie. 1992 and 1994, the Toronto Blue Jays baseball team win the World Series, the first for a Canadian team. Have they won it since? I'm not sure. December 8, 2016, Viola Desmond is the first woman to appear on the $10 bill, described as Canada's Rosa Parks for her 1946 decision to sit in a whites-only section of a Nova Scotia movie theater, which is pretty awesome. And then it also says when Canada hosted the Olympics, 1976, Montreal, Quebec, 1988, Calgary, Alberta, and more recently, 2010, Vancouver, British Columbia, where, of course, Canada won the gold in hockey. So it's a nice historical moments they feature on there. The Jokers, they say Joker on top, Canada 150 on the bottom. You see the logo, the maple leaf. There's a bunch of pictures in there of different things that we'll see in the deck. And the other one's the same except in red. And different images. Then we get to the cards. I'll try to quickly go through them all. The Ace of Spades is Ottawa, Ontario, the Parliament. That's our version of the White House, I guess you could say. Or the U.S. Capitol, whatever it's a. It's the government's, the House of the Government, Parliament. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Northwest Territories. I've never been to Northwest Territories or anywhere up north or to pretty much anywhere east, like Prince Edward Island. Naramata Bench, British Columbia. Might have been around this somewhere, I'm not 100% sure, never heard of it. Victoria, British Columbia. I've been to Victoria once, I might have been there, I'm not 100% sure. This, yeah, I don't know exactly, but that could be on the grounds of a famous house that was used as a Lutheran mansion in Smallville. It was also used as a mansion in the Arrow show. It could be. Yukon Gold. I wish I could find some gold. Tignes, Prince Edward Island on the Atlantic Ocean. And this is pretty cool. It's the Confederation Bridge, Prince Edward Island. This is a very long bridge that connects this little island, Prince Edward Island, which is a province, to the rest of the country. So all 7 provinces, I think it's 7, are connected by 7 or 8 provinces. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while since I did school. All the provinces are connected by the Trans-Canada Highway from east to west, thanks to this bridge, which was constructed several years ago. 10, 15 years ago, I don't remember. Cabot Trail, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Cabot, I believe, is the name of an explorer. I can't recall exactly though. Somebody. Muskoka, Northern Ontario, has been at least somewhere around that area. Not sure if that's Lake of the Woods or if it's a different lake. Lake Louise, Alberta. Don't think I've been there. But I've been in Alberta. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I've been through there. Yorkton, Saskatchewan. I'm not sure if I've been through there, that one, but perhaps. Vancouver, British Columbia. I've been there a bit. Just a little bit. Mostly northern Vancouver. White Pass, Yukon. Pretty interesting. Quemet Canyon, Provincial Park, Ontario. So we met, it's a French name, I guess. Don't recall being anywhere near there. Whistler, BC. Haven't been quite that far north. Toronto, Ontario. Never actually been to Toronto, but I've been close. I've seen Lake Ontario, which is that lake. There you see the Sky Dome, which is now known as the Rogers Centre, and the CN Tower. Then we got Edmonton, Alberta, West Edmonton Mall. I've been there. I've seen that in person. It's a nice big old school sailboat. Inside there's actually, in that area, submarines that you can ride on. They also have an amusement park, an ice skating rink, huge amounts of restaurants and stores. It's massive. And there's also a wave water park and so much more. It's massive. Let me tell you that much. Lake Manitoba, Manitoba. Hey, that's where I live. This is an hour or so north of where I live. I'm surprised they don't have Lake Winnipeg in here, but they have Lake Manitoba. It doesn't look that big in that picture. I'm not sure where that is exactly. Seediac, New Brunswick. Of course, the East Coast is famous for lobster. So they got a big lobster statue. North Cape, Prince Edward Island. For Lighthouse, that's also something they're famous for out east. Nunavut with the Northern Lights, very beautiful as you can see. Totem Poles, Vancouver, British Columbia. Don't think I've seen those. Calgary, Stampede, Alberta. I've been through Calgary one time, but actually I saw driving on the highway where they did the slaloms and stuff like that, where the big drops are, where they would do that and other stuff. Here we are at St. John's, Newfoundland, very colorful. The Basilica, Montreal, Quebec. Nunavut, and an igloo, of course. And no, we don't all live in igloos, contrary to rednecks' popular belief. And so a lot of people there's people in the States that think that's what it's all about, especially like rednecks, I guess. White Pass, Yukon. Vancouver, British Columbia, at night. Nunavut again. Quebec City, Quebec to be exact, and that's, I guess, their legislature or something. Olympic Stadium, Montreal, Quebec, very nice. Yukon, in Yukon. I guess, what it is, they so English and French, so it's Yukon. Northwest Territories, that's close to Yukon, it's all up north. Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Nunavut are three territories up north. Nunavut actually used to be a part of Northwest Territories until 10, 15 years ago when they decided to be their own territory. And there it is, Terry Fox Monument in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I've actually seen that in person. And you see him with his prosthetic leg on his run across the country. That's as far as he made it, unfortunately. But to this day, people are raising money in his name all over the world, which is awesome. And he was like the first person to do that I'm familiar with, to go on a run across the country to raise money for something. Icefields Parkway in Alberta looks pretty cool. Not familiar where that is exactly. Signal Hill, St. John's, Newfoundland. Halifax, Nova Scotia, probably the biggest city in the Maritimes. Canadian Museum for Human Rights in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yay, that's where I live. I think I'm this direction of it. I'm not 100% sure looking at it from this direction, which direction I'm looking at it from. This is actually, a lot of people, and I think I have to agree with it myself, think this is actually atrocious architecture. It's pretty ugly. But it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting thing to have. This could have been designed better. And then we got Montreal, Quebec. Pretty cool. Toronto, Ontario. City Hall, Toronto, Ontario. Very cool. Lots of color. Fraser Valley, British Columbia. I think I've been in that area. Niagara Falls, Ontario. I've been there. Very beautiful, especially the Canadian side. If you're going to see Niagara Falls, see it from the Canadian side, not the American side. It's definitely worth checking out. Peggy's Cove, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, another lighthouse. More waterfalls, Northwest Territories. Hope Row Rocks, New Brunswick, that's pretty cool. That actually looks like a bear. Very interesting. And we're getting there. I apologize, it's a bit long video. Victoria Gardens, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Saskatchewan. Yeah, that's pretty much what Saskatchewan is known for. Flat lands and fields. And then, Anne of Green Gables, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island. Anne of Green Gables is a famous book. They've had a movie and now they have a TV show on this character, Anne of Green Gables. And that's like the house, I guess. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, on the other side of that. And Newfoundland. Pretty colorful. The back design, by the way, the best part. Yeah, how exciting. So the Maple Leaf says Canada 150 and it's borderless. So that's what you get. It's basically just a standard bicycle stock Ericus Infinis. One-way back design. I mean, it's usable. It's fine for what it is. I do think that they could have tried a little bit more and come up with something a lot better. But it ain't the end of the world. It's a nice deck. It's obviously, at least for me anyways. And there it is. I'm not going to rate it. But I think it's a nice deck to have. Especially for someone like me. Or for anyone who wants to know more about Canada. It's handles pretty good, as you can see, decently anyways. Bicycle stock Ericus Infinis. And it's available. I got this from fgbradleys.com, I believe it is, or .ca. I'll put a link in the description. Pretty sure they ship outside Canada, but they're a Canadian shop. And it's available, or will be available at Canadian shops like Walmart and others, but I just haven't seen it anywhere yet, so I decided to get it online. The only other place I've seen it at is Home Hardware, which is a Canadian home store, but they're outside the city, so I wasn't going to go outside the city to go find it. But anyways, that is that. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think. Check out collectiblepointcards.com. Use the code VJZ32. Save 10% of your order. I'll see you next time, and I apologize for the video being lengthy.